everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome guest here. He is not, we've been having guests who have not been on this show or any of my shows yet, and I'm really excited. Michael McGlynn, how you doing, Michael?
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me, man.
I am excited because we've been talking about doing this, and then just some reason it just didn't happen, and then I was like, oh crap, because I realized I went back and I was like, when are we supposed to be doing it? And then I was like, oh crap, we were already supposed to do it. So then I was like, let's do it, today. So you were graceful enough to show, to come back, and very happy you are. So, first of all, so this is your first time watching. This is my first time watching it, but what was your first thoughts?
Honestly, I actually overall enjoyed it. Like, I definitely had a few small gripes here and there, but overall, I actually really enjoyed the film. It definitely had some of this one other old movie I used to watch called Hunting Season.
Hmm.
Uh, I definitely saw some inklings of that in there, but it had its own little thing too.
Hunting Season. Was that like the 2003? Was that the 3D movie?
Yeah, the one about the couple in the woods, and the girl comes back and thinks that she's going after all the hunters, but the twist ending is that it was the wrong guys.
Oh wow. I think that's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking the same one.
Yeah, they definitely did it 3D. It was back when they did those. They were doing those sand show 3Ds where they're taking two screens and
Yeah, it
flipping them
was
together.
exactly. You had to buy specific glasses for them and everything, and then hook them up to your DVD player and everything. Yeah, David Sterling, I believe, produced that one. So that's I own that one too. I just haven't watched it in forever, so I don't remember the plot, but I do remember watching it and liking it. And this is directed by Brett Kelly, who I don't know if you're familiar with his work.
Actually, I'm not actually.
So Brett Kelly is there's two Brett Kellys in the world, by the way. There's the Brett Kelly that does B movies, and there's the Brett Kelly that's the little kid from fucking Bad Santa and a bunch of other movies and stuff. Do not compare him with that little brat kid, that one, the little chubby kid with the like hair or whatever. No, it's not the same guy. But sometimes when you look up Brett Kelly on Tubi, you got to be careful which one you're gonna get, because some of those movies that kid's been in has been like pure crap. But whatever. Anyway, Brett Kelly is a Canadian filmmaker. This was filmed in Canada. If you can tell from a lot of the language and the way people talked and the accents. It Brett has been sort of a person that's been done a lot of like movies that we've reviewed for Indie Film Cafe. In fact, this past season we reviewed Pirates Quest for Snake Island, which is, actually a pretty fun movie. And so is this. This is a pretty fun movie. He makes silly, fun B movies. Like, he doesn't make anything that will be too serious, or you have to like really give it a lot of thought, like it's just sort of, fun. And I'm glad you enjoyed it, for the most part. There seems to be things that you had gripes with. Uh, what was your biggest gripe with the movie?
Honestly, when you hear my biggest gripe, if the director is watching this, and I think he'll probably come out of this overall looking at it more as even like a compliment, is that the runtime for that film was like an hour and like 8 minutes.
Hmm.
Honestly, I wish he would have added like another 20 more minutes, and I would have split that up 5 minutes to add more to like the to the couple's relation, like in the beginning, build up a little bit more. I kind of felt like it kind of, yeah, we understand that they're a little bit established, but I would have liked to have seen more of them because I feel like the actor and actress in that actually has some really good chemistry together,
Hmm.
and I actually would have liked to have seen more dialogue with them together, like building up to the events that happened.
Hmm.
Um, but then on then there are 15 minutes of it. Um, we don't get to see what really put her to that brink. Yeah, I feel like like it's kind of like something horrific happened to her because I mean, the aftermath you see her in, it definitely shows. Like it's just like I would have loved to have seen more build up to that. More of that intensity build up. I guess is the best way to put it. But those are really my two gripes about it. In hindsight, I wish it was longer.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I kind of wish there was more with the the ranger guy. I feel
Mm.
like his character kind of came, and I don't know if this was meant to sort of. And by the way, this there are spoilers allowed on this, so
Okay. I wasn't sure. That's why I was kind of keeping it a little
right.
somewhat vague.
Exactly. Don't worry. If you haven't seen Countryside, go on Tubi, watch it right now, then come back and kind of always tell everybody that because I mean if it's free on Tubi, you can go watch it and you can, tell us what you think.
It's honestly not a bad watch.
It's really not. But the the fact that the ranger dies so quickly when he's trying to help her and everything, I just felt like that just, like there was so much buildup for that and then it didn't
It,
like pan out because it's just like, oh shit, he fell for a trap, or whatever, which
there was
there
no
were,
climax.
and I kind of wish there were more traps, honestly. Like more
Mhm.
booby traps in the thing, and um, and maybe one of the guys were dumb enough to like fall into one of their own, or whatever. I thought that would have been fun, but I didn't write the movie. Not my movie.
Uh, Oh no, but I see what you're saying though too. Like it would have had like we had a little bit of like a small little hint element like along with wrong turn. So you would have had a little like hunting season mixed in with a little wrong turn.
Mm,
Um, all depending on if you actually did do a build up on how you did the build up, you could almost even maybe argue throwing in a little bit of I spit on your grave.
right.
We don't know like what the build up is. What not the build up, sorry, the torture. Uh, we really see her really ensue. Like from what I can remember and recall, like it kind of just was more like her just waking up and just blood face and stuff and just absolutely big panic and terror. Don't get me wrong, and like and like she absolutely sold on me, and I think that's why I got so like more like man. I wanted to see what brought her to that point because she's selling me on it really well. On that, she went through some really horrific stuff. But I feel
Well, I
like
mean, one of the horrific things that she did go through, we saw, is the bear trap.
yeah, the
And
bear
so
trap.
that bear trap was like, and that was on her leg for like a long time, which I mean, I don't even know if she would have survived with that being there like that for that long, like it was almost like a day that she had that on, that whole bear trap. It felt like it was a long ass time. So I don't know. But I don't know. I so I guess we'll start talking about the story a little bit and stuff, and I'll read the synopsis on IMDb. And while on a road trip to a wedding, a young couple is forced to camp out for the night and become prey to the wilderness and something even more sinister. That's a pretty straight up storyline for it. But basically, we start off in the movie with like the first five, like 5 minutes or whatever, is actually 2 minutes or so, is like her about to be killed by the big guy, the big killer. He's like choking her and everything. And then it says 2 days earlier, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like did we just see her die? Like, did we just see the end of the movie? And nope, but we saw close to it, but then again, also it kind of irritated me because later we see that scene again, and I was like, okay, so the guy just knocks out the ranger, right? He just like, or hits him in the head, didn't even knock him out, and then attacks her like of course that ranger's going to be coming back and saving her, like that was that was ridiculous. But we don't see that in the first 2 minutes of the movie or whatever. We just see her get attacked.
Mhm.
And then we come back, we see the road trip of them driving down the road and I guess trying to play games on the road. That was interesting. They were playing like I guess crossword puzzles and trying to other games that apparently didn't work for two people and one person driving, Um
I actually really enjoyed that scene. Like those kind of things I was talking about, the build up with the couples. It was little things like that. It gets you more emotionally invested in the characters. Like the more you see those kind of things, because when her, I can't remember if it was a boyfriend or husband. I want to say it's boyfriend.
hmm? Her boy, that guy?
Yeah.
Okay. So that guy apparently was just a friend originally, and then
Oh
remember
yeah,
he
that's why. And
becomes
they
they
officially
they
became.
officially became
I
boyfriend and
remember that
girlfriend.
now.
Yeah. So at first they were like but yeah, they became officially boyfriend and girlfriend uh there at the during the thing, which I thought that was a very sweet scene. But we'll get to that. And then so what were you saying about the boyfriend?
Oh, I was saying like I was actually heartbroken when he got when he got taken out.
Yeah.
If that was already with a little bit of time. I can imagine like if there was more of a build up, I would have been even that much more emotionally like, oh no, not
Yeah.
him.
Well, I mean, so he disappears from the camping ground because so they're driving there and he's tired, so they have to go find a place to go camp out for the night. And they find was it park ranger station, and they chat with the local ranger who says the only place I know is like right down the road or whatever, and this is how you get to it. And I was like, God damn, but they need to write that shit down. Like I wouldn't be able to memorize that shit. They were like, turn left and right, then left and right, then right and then left, and then you're at then you're at the spot to park. And I'm like, good God, like how can you remember all that? And they get there, they go and they camp out. They're just chatting with each other, having a good time. He basically was telling her he needs to go to the car, but he really, really needs to go, I guess, go to the bathroom, and he doesn't really want to just tell her, I need to go to the bathroom, and so eventually he's kind of like, well, I gotta go do other things there. So, and she's like, ah, okay, you can go. Because she doesn't want him to go because, she doesn't want to be trapped in the middle of like, you know, whatever, right? Like the woods by herself. And so he kind of disappears that night and she falls asleep. When she wakes up, he's not there. So she's like a little worried and trying to find him, and that's where she gets the bear trap. So for most of the time in the movie, he's gone, right? Like most of the time, we think I thought he literally got eaten by a wolf because
Mhm.
he does have that little. They have that little like hallucination scene where he comes to her and says, I got eaten by a wolf, and so I'm here to protect you, be your spirit guide, kind of thing, which I thought was interesting and then he says something about the fire being out, and then she looks down and he's gone. And you know, and I thought that was interesting. But anywho, what did you think of that? Like, what did you think of him being gone for so long?
I definitely I was like you. I kind of automatically assumed like the worst already from the get go. I was like I was already getting a little bit of that Blair Witch went up. I was like, oh, he's gone missing in the woods. Yep, he's done.
I actually thought Blair Witch as well because I recently just watched that, and it's so funny how like people can just disappear, like or whatever. I just imagine that he'd be at that cabin just like with his face to the thing, you know, face to the wall or whatever, and she's gonna be like, "What's going on? Eh. Um, but so she's about to be eaten by the wolf at one point, and she gets saved by three hunters who
Mhm.
are out there, just happen to be out there that time period, and you know tried to bring her back and help her out, and and so they bring her back to their cabin, but she wants to go to the other cabin, and they're like, no, 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 don't go that cabin.
Mhm.
No, that cabin. And then, I mean, you know what, I would have believed them myself. I knew, because it's a horror film, I was like, uh-oh, the boyfriend's in that cabin or something like that, is where other dead bodies are in that cabin. Don't, human bodies are in that, not animals like they say. But in real life, I would have believed them, because I understand hunters need a place to go store their fucking dead food and stuff. So I would have been like, okay, I don't want to be anywhere near dead animals, like that smell and shit. So
Exactly.
I would have been just like her. I would have been like, okay. But there was something off about them, from the very beginning. They were kind of very sort of rudish, like at least the main guy is kind of like the leader is sort of rude to her, and she's like, all she's trying to do is get help, or whatever, and they don't want to, because they want to kill her, or they want to hunt her, you know, which becomes like more like have you ever heard of the most dangerous game?
Yes. Mm.
Yeah, there's tons of uh, homages or ripoffs or whatever you want to call them of it, but I mean, this becomes sort of like the most dangerous game, where you know the hunters actually hunt humans,
Mhm.
or whatever, because they're it's sort of more. And then she says something about cannibal, like being a cannibal, basically, and they're like, "Ew, no, we don't want to eat you. We just want to kill you." like, like that's even better, Oh, we're not gonna eat you. We're just gonna kill you. It's fine, you know. Um, by the way, one of the guys, not the big guy who ends up trying to choke her, and not the main guy, but the other one that was
Mhm.
sort of kind of dim-witted a little bit, he was not the smartest. That's actually one of the writers of Brett Kelly's. He wasn't the writer of this one, but his name's Trevor Payer, and he's done a bunch of stuff for Brett, mainly writing, I think, but he's also acted in a ton of his movies as well. So it's really neat, kind of seeing a lot of the same actors in a lot of Brett's movies, playing different roles. In fact, a lot of them worked on, like in this movie called Murder in High Heels that I own. They
Mm.
also worked on Konga TNT, which was like a King Kong family film, kind of thing. Yeah, it was fun. It was cute. And that's what and that's what he did. He makes a lot of his films, either he makes them because they're fun to make this sort of movie, or they're fun to make for his family. You know.
Nice.
And you weren't aware of who Brett was, I guess.
Oh no.
So, um,
No, I went to this movie blindly. I was like, I wanted to go in with just complete, just I want to see the movie and come out with a fair perspective.
right, exactly. You didn't want to like look in and find out too much information before doing the show, right, or anything. No. But awesome. I'm glad you seem to like it, because it is sort of a, I don't know, it's a fun little flick. It's not too crazy, you know. So, and you liked all the characters, I'm taking it.
Oh,
Was
yeah, I definitely enjoyed the characters. Another thing I really enjoyed too was a lot of the aesthetic shots. I really enjoyed a lot of the shots they did in the woods with the horizons. I really enjoyed a lot of those still shots. I thought that they were very well done. Um, I definitely did enjoy the characters. The hunters were, I mean, they Yeah, I think I said it best a little bit. Like one of them was like kind of sinister. I don't know. I would have liked it more if they all were more just, I don't know, aggressive.
Aggressive? Are you talking like more deliverance style or something, you know? Like
Yeah, but not like the whole like all four, but just I don't know. The more I guess the more abrasive. Yeah, I just felt like they could have pushed the envelope a little further.
I do too. I feel like they were, it was sort of funny because I guess they were trying to look nice at first, right? They were
Hmm.
trying to come off as like nice guys. And even when sort of she is on the hunt, or they're on the hunt for her, they're sort of still nice, like, through where he's like, oh well, oh well, that person died. Oh damn. Oh well. Like or oh no, their friend, the big guy died. Damn it, we're gonna have to look into this, and I'm like, I guess I hate to say this sounds bad, but that's so Canadian. Like everybody's so nice in Canada. Even the hunters that are hunting people are nice. Like, they're just like, oh darn, we didn't get there. Because only in America do we have assholes who are like, we're gonna fucking kill you, fucker, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're just like the nice version of that. Actually, it's funny. You wouldn't know this and whatnot, but I don't think. Maybe you would. But do you know who Sam Qualiana is?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, so he directed a movie called Snow Shark. And he's done a bunch of other movies as well. But he acts in a lot of his movies, and he sort of looks like the lead hunter guy, the bad guy, and it cracked me up because every time I saw him, all I could see is Sam in that role instead of that guy, or whatever. And Sam always plays like this sort of like ha ha ha, nice, I'm gonna get you, but you're, whatever kind of thing. And so he would have been perfect for that role too. But anyway, that, like, once again, this was filmed in the backwoods of Canada, where there is beautiful scenery. She had to get to the wedding, and the one thing I was like kind of disappointed in is like we don't get any resolve at all at the end of it. Like
Mhm.
she calls for help, and then it kind of just ends, you know? And I was just like, wait, so no police came and picked you up, or the wolves didn't come and eat you, or nothing happened? Like, how do we, like, what? Like, we don't know? I guess it's up to your imagination. In your opinion, did she survive or did she not survive?
I'm gonna go with no, she doesn't.
You don't think she did?
No, because you almost gotta wonder, like, because I know you've seen that cliche in other movies where like they're out in the middle of nowhere, some local boondocks kind of like area. A lot of times, the local law enforcement are tied in all too well with all the local people and stuff. And I could just see this be like, oh, you were just at the wrong place at the wrong time, ma'am.
Yeah, holy cow. I guess they were too far away from where they would normally be and too far away from where they were supposed to be. And so this is just the worst area to, once again, you said it before, wrong turn. It sort of has a wrong turn element of like they made a wrong turn. They didn't, like this was bad for them. They should not have gone here, but at least their car didn't break down. That's sort of an annoying trope of like these movies is the car breaks down, or whatever, and it's just so it happens in real life, but I'm just saying, like, how many times do we have to see a movie where all of a sudden,
The car won't start.
yeah, their car won't start, and I mean, in Wrong Turn, it worked because I believe, if I'm correct, the the mountain people had put the stuff on the ground to make the tire pop, you know. So they
Mm-hmm.
went over the thing and it made the tire pop, and they were like, "Who the fuck would do that? That's kind of fucked up, you know." But this movie, they were just literally just camping out. If he hadn't, I wonder what would have happened if he hadn't gone into the woods, you know, or whatever. If he had just stayed with her, you know, uh, my guess is the hunters would have still found them in that night or so, you know, and would have she just wouldn't have been, she might not have hit her leg with the bear trap, you know, or whatever. Did you notice they did their best not to show you the bear trap while it was on her?
Mm-hmm.
Like they would
Oh, go
shoot
ahead.
from, I was gonna say they shoot from different angles so that you could not see her foot, you know, and I'm like, oh come on, I want to see like it on top of her. No, didn't have the, you know, they don't have a fake bear trap like that, you know, or whatever. Um, but did you like the what were you gonna say about it?
I was just gonna say, yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of that. I think there was only one scene where they were pulling it out, if I remember correctly, where she's trying to pull it off, and you could see like the weak teeth coming out. There was a little bit of gore there coming out of the leg, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
then you see the bear trap went on her head. That was awesome, you know, right? I'm like, what? You know, that was the best death in the whole thing. Like that was well worth. Uh,
agreed.
that was pretty good, and so was the guy, the cop, ranger getting the fucking huge stick through his stomach, you know,
Hmm.
or whatever. That was pretty crazy, you know, and I swear to God, if you had that thing like in there, I don't think you'd look over and say, "Get to the car." You know, I don't think you'd have enough. Like, I think at that rate, you just would have looked at her and like, you know, like you would have died right then and there because like that went right, literally right through him. You know,
Hmm.
but he turns to her and he goes, "Get to the car," and I'm like, "All right." That just happened. I had to rewind it because I was like, wait, what? What? Like, did that literally just happen? You know?
Kind of, kind of reminds you of the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie where the old girl, the girl playing the old version of Sally got all that chainsaw up her, and yet she still had enough energy after all that to tell him to go and to run.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
Yep.
like, are you kidding me?
I mean, I guess it looks cool on camera and stuff and whatnot, but like, you know, in the movie, but like, come on, let's be realistic. However, these movies aren't really realistic necessarily. Like, I mean, I don't really know of anybody, like I haven't read any stories of people who actually go and hunt people, you know, or whatever. You know what I mean? Plus, they were saying like nobody, like the what is his name? The park ranger was saying that like nobody was around, you know, like they were the first people to stop in forever, you know? So there were no like these two people were the only people that they would have had the chance to go after like that, you know, in uh I don't know, years they said, I think. I think he said because it was almost like a psycho moment, you know, where they said
Mhm.
like because there's that new motel that, you know, was down the street or whatever that people just don't stop and camp. They just go to the motel, you know, and they go to Bates Motel, you know, right down the street or whatever. And so they have their own fun that way, you know, dealing with him. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I enjoyed it a lot more than, actually even a lot more than I expected, because even though like I know Brett Kelly's work and I'm familiar that I'm probably gonna like it. Like here's an example of his work. I have something right here. I got a Ouija shark.
We
And
just sure.
we did this for Shark Attack Sunday. So but yeah, it's, you know, that's exactly what they do. They do movies like that, like harmless, fun, silly horror films. If you take these movies if you take a movie called A Ouija Shark seriously, or Countryside, or it's got another one I can't wait to do a review sometime called Homicycle, you know, right? If you take those, you know, if you take those seriously, then something's wrong with you, you know? And there are people who take them seriously and they'll write negative reviews and shit, and no reason for that,
Oh yeah.
because,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm all too familiar with that.
right. Like people who just like, oh my God, this is the worst film of all time. I'm like, have you seen a film? Like, have you
Yeah.
seen this is like, must be your first foray to independent films, because this would not be a like any of these would not be a worst film ever. I've got a lot of directors who fit that list way better, but at least, what Brett Kelly does, what he lacks in budget, he makes up in heart, you know. And I really
Mhm.
do believe that. Like, I think everything he does because he like enjoys filmmaking. He enjoys I mean, it's almost like getting his friends together, and going out there and making a movie, and I love that. Like, I love that kind of camaraderie, and makes you want to go watch the next movie because the same people are in it and they're all enjoying it, playing different roles, or whatever, and being able to explore things they probably never got to explore before. So, I mean, you as a filmmaker should know, like, should understand that too, like
Oh yeah, I
the
mean,
feeling.
I run in a similar circle with the slasher 15. I mean, like you'll see like throughout the movies a lot of the same actors, a lot of the same people, because we all just like seeing each other and hanging out with each other, and we all really just feel like we make good stuff together. I mean, and above all, we know we're gonna come out like having a good time in the process.
Yep, definitely. Is there anything else that we left out, like that we needed to discuss in this?
Um,
I'm trying to think. Was there? I mean, I'm trying to think of because it was a short movie, so it's gonna have sort of a short review.
yeah,
Sadly,
I mean,
like
I
there
agree.
wasn't a lot to go into. Uh, I mean, the lead girl who played Abby, I think her name
Mhm.
was just she was really good. Most of it was her, a lot of it was like her going in the woods trying to survive, like just be by herself, and everything. And I thought that was pretty damn good.
I agree.
I kind of wish, uh, you're right. I wish there was like maybe 10, 20 minutes more where they could have developed more stuff. Like I said, I feel like the ending sort of happened, and it didn't really. I don't know. It felt like it needed more than what it gave me. But also it ended like, I think it wasn't even an hour and 10 minutes. Like, I think the movie itself was like an hour and like 5 minutes or 4 minutes or
Yeah,
something,
something like that.
and then the rest was credits and everything. And so it was a very short movie. But I didn't pick it because of that. I don't generally pick because of length, unless I see the movie's like 4 hours long and I'm like, no, 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 no. On Tubi, no. A 4 hour long movie on Tubi is like 2
6
years.
hours.
Yeah. I say 2 years, but like it feels like it forever to finish up a, you know, hour and a half movie. Because of commercials. But you watched it on Tubi, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So did you see it, like, how did it break it up for you? Do you know, like with the commercials, did it take like every 20 minutes or 15 or?
It felt very minimal. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, but once again, it was kind of a short film. I feel like there's like maybe like 3 or 4 commercial breaks, and that was it.
Yeah. Because it felt like there was, for me, there was like a couple that were like five ads, and then a couple that were like four ads or three, or whatever. And I'm not minding Tubi with the commercials, because like kind of grew up on commercials where you couldn't fast forward through the
Hmm.
commercials, so like it never bothers me to just like, okay, I'll sit through this and wait till, it's sort of like, oh crap, what's gonna happen next? Is she gonna be okay? Can I?
It
Oh,
builds suspense.
I can go downstairs and get some stuff done before I have to run back up here and watch it again. Finish watching it. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Also having your film on Tubi is a big deal, because everybody has Tubi, or
Hmm.
everybody does Tubi. Um, but anyway, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun little flick. Definitely, if I recommend it, if somebody out there, like, would you recommend people seeing it?
Absolutely, I would. It's definitely a fun one. Um, and the more I actually go with kind of thinking on it too, like even like it's one of those ones where like it has a lot of good build up suspense, like and I don't think maybe like I tapped into that one as much either. Like with hers at the end and stuff, well, with the chasing and everything. The more I'm starting to remember now, I was like, you know what, that actually has some really good suspenseful moments. But yeah, it's definitely a good watch, and I definitely highly recommend it. Especially like at an hour 4 minutes. It's a good way to kill time, and honestly like I said, it's really not a bad film whatsoever. I mean, just like anything, that's made on small budgets, you're gonna have things here and there that you're gonna have to make way with. But I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did too, and I definitely recommend it. And I hope people get a chance to see it. I don't know how long it'll be on Tubi. You just never know. But if it's on when this when this review comes out, hopefully people go and check it out in October. It's definitely it's kind of feel that it would be good for October actually. Because of just the look and the feel and the it almost feels very fall like.
Hmm.
Beautiful scenery and I hope more and more people get a chance to check it out and everything. Michael, you are a filmmaker and you've done a lot of stuff. Tell us a little bit about the stuff that you've been working on.
Oh, um, uh, let's see here. I just wrapped up being a producer for Dave Kerr. He's the writer, director, filmmaker for Go Away. And I'm actually currently filming with Brad Twigg for Killer Camp Out 2.
Yeah, I
And
loved I loved Killer Camp Out 1. That
yeah,
was a lot of fun. And Wrestle Massacre and all the stuff that Brad does because they're so goofy and silly and fun. But it's cool that he's doing Killer Camp Out too, and I'm glad you're involved.
oh yeah, like there's definitely been a lot of fun back and forth with Fuzzy Monkey and Slasher 15. Like even if you watch a Shriek Show and you watch Play Summer Camp, there are nods in there to each other's films and stuff. In Shriek Show, you see a cameo with Felissa Rose in there. She's holding up a I Survived Camp Trust Fall mug, which is the name of our camp and Play Summer Camp. And in our movie, after Dollface does one of the kills, you see him stand up, and there's a death board movie
Nice.
poster from Brad Twigg's death board in the background. Um,
It almost is like I don't know if you ever remember like Sam Raimi and did like a nod to like Toby Hooper with Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Like
uh,
it was a poster inside the cabin in Evil Dead. It's like all like I guess all messed up or whatever. But it was supposed to be like that Toby Hooper did that with somebody else and so it was like a running thing with all these filmmakers that they would give nods to each other and and everything like that. And so I kind of want to, I like seeing that with the indie community, because then we're all supporting each other, and that's what it's supposed to be,
exactly.
you know. That's really cool. So you got Bloody Summer Camp that's out.
Oh,
Uh,
yep.
and you said that was it that you just working on Go Away right now.
Hmm.
So when do you think that'll be out?
Go away. It'll be out sometime next year. We actually just wrapped up filming we just got a few aesthetic shots left, but we're pretty much already in the process of beginning post production. Um,
Nice.
Unfortunately, our DP has a lot of other gigs he's got to film, so he's not gonna be able to start his part of the color grading and editing process till a little later on this year. So we're looking at sometime. I'm hoping early next year.
Early next year. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Fingers
Crossed.
crossed. Yeah. And you guys will be at Scares That Care, so I'm really excited to see you guys out
Absolutely,
there.
man. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Is that your first or wait, or you've been to others, right?
Oh yeah, matter of fact, a fun little fact. Scares That I Care was the very first horror convention I ever did.
Oh, for real?
Yep. Their
When?
first film.
Like,
My very first time was when Adrian King was there. Not Bill. Doug Bradley was there. Um, oh God. A bunch of the Sons of Anarchy people were there
I
as
remember
well.
that. Yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
those guys were awesome.
yeah,
You
and
know.
Zach Galligan from Gremlins was also there, and Sean Flannery from Boondock Saints, he was also there.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say which one or whatever, but one of the Sons of Anarchy guys was not happy with me.
Oh,
Yeah, I went out to the parking lot to go to my car, you know, and as I'm going out to it, I guess him and the other guy were, you know, partaking in, marijuana, which I think at that time was legal, or maybe it wasn't legal in Virginia. I don't know, whatever. But they were out in there doing that, and then they started looking at me, and then I'm kind of hiding, like, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a narc, I don't give a fuck what you're doing, I just came up to say, like I said, hey, and they kind of gave me like this look, like go away, like, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna
yeah. Great,
gonna
great, great talking to you.
yeah, great not talking to you. All right,
Yeah.
I'm out. But whatever. It was just so funny because I was just like looking at them going, oh, okay, whatever. But it was fun, all those things. So yeah, okay, cool. So who did you go up with?
Oh, actually, I went with my wife. We went because we wanted to meet Adrian King from Friday the 13th because it's one of my favorite slasher series. Probably that and Hatchet are probably my two top
Yeah.
favorites.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, we went there, and funny enough, I believe actually, but this is actually before I started being a part of their team. I believe Dave Kerr and his wife Amber, who's the special effects artist and also one of his producers, I believe they actually were there that year, and they actually had
Mm.
a table. Like little did they know, a guy going to that con for the first time would attach to him later on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, they had a table there with it was a slasher 15, table, and I did buy a uh nurse,
Oh
curse of
yeah,
the
slasherness.
Curse of the Slasher Nurse. So I bought that. We were gonna review it, but we ended up doing Wrestle Massacre instead at that time, and so it was like between those two movies of what to do, and unfortunately, sorry, like I feel
No, no,
bad for
it's all
Dave, but we decided to we review Bristol Massacre at the time because because we had our buddy Stro, who's a professional wrestler, and we were just like, let's do a wrestling movie, so he can review a wrestling movie, horror film, and he loved it. He absolutely, like, he was so in stitches for that. So I don't know if you've seen Wrestle Massacre or not
Oh, I
yet.
have.
Yep.
I actually own. I think I actually own all of Brian Twig's movies. Actually,
I own almost all of them, I think. I mean, I'm missing the newest ones and stuff. And his production company hasn't been to Scares That Care in a little bit. So kind of sad because I've been wanting to like get some more stuff from him. He always sells like his own shit too. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
not just his own movies, but like stuff that DVDs that he owns and Blu-rays he owns that he just wants to
Hmm.
get rid of, and so he usually has a good table of stuff for me to just peruse. But I will be at the Slasher 15 table as normal, so I'm excited to check out your guys' table. And um, but by the time that this airs, that'll already have happened. So
Yep.
so there you go. So thank you once again for this. This is awesome. And thank you guys, everybody that checked this out. Hope you guys really got a kick out of it. Countryside, once again, we really recommend it. It's fun, it's goofy, not goofy, it's not goofy at all. It's fun, but it's like, you don't take it so seriously, and even the wolf stuff, I mean, the wolf stuff was great. I wish they showed more, they were able to show more of wolves, but I almost feel like those weren't real wolves. Those were probably dogs that look like wolves, and they were using them and getting them to like growl, but that was it. So anyway, thank you so much, Michael, and everybody else. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.